Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wisdom and Wit, where we take a look at the world's craziest news and try to make sense of it all. Now, I ain't saying we're going to solve any problems, but we might just laugh our way through them. Let's get this show on the road. Y'all hear about North Korea? They've gone and done it again. Launched themselves another one of them fancy missiles. Now, I don't know much about rockets, but I reckon if you're going to shoot something that big, you ought to at least be compensating for something. So, this new missile they got, it's supposed to reach all the way to America. I'm thinking, why bother? We got enough problems here already. They could just send us a strongly worded letter and save themselves the trouble. But get this, folks. This ain't your grandpappy's missile. No, sir. This here's what they call a solid-fueled missile. Now, I don't know about you, but where I come from, solid-fueled usually means you had too much cheese before bedtime. They say this new missile is easier to move around and quicker to launch. Kinda like my wife when she spots a sale at Walmart. 1 minute she's on the couch. Next thing you know, she's halfway to the store with her credit card already smoking. Now, I ain't no rocket scientist, but I gotta wonder, if North Korea is so good at making missiles, how come they can't figure out how to keep the lights on at night? You ever seen them satellite photos? Whole country's darker than a black bear's backside in a coal mine. And let me tell you, folks, timing is everything. They decided to launch this thing right before our election. It's like they're trying to give us one more thing to argue about at Thanksgiving dinner, as if we needed more reasons for Uncle Bob to start ranting about politics over the turkey. But here's the kicker, y'all. While they're busy playing with their big boy toys, turns out they're also sending troops over to help Russia and Ukraine. Now, I don't know about you, but if I was going to send help, I'd start with a care package. Maybe some of them little trees that make your car smell nice. They say there's over 11,000 North Korean troops heading to Russia. That's more people than we got in my whole hometown. And let me tell you, if they're anything like the folks around here, they're probably just going for the vodka. Can you imagine that culture shock? Going from North Korea to Russia? That's like going from eating nothing to eating borscht. It's an improvement, I guess, but not by much. And get this, they're saying these North Korean soldiers are wearing Russian uniforms. Now, I ain't no fashion expert, but I reckon that's what you call borrowed style. It's like when I wear my wife's bathrobe because I can't find mine. It might fit, but it sure don't look right. Now, our government's all up in arms about this. They're saying it's dangerous. Well, no kidding. You got a bunch of fellas who've never seen a McDonald's suddenly let loose in a country where vodka flows like water. That ain't dangerous. That's a recipe for the world's weirdest frat party. Of course, we can't just sit back and watch. No, sir, we gotta do something. So what's the plan? More military exercises with South Korea and Japan. Because nothing says we're serious like a bunch of grown men playing war games. It's like when my kids were little and fighting over toys. I'd say, if you can't play nice, nobody gets to play. Except in this case. Playing involves billion-dollar equipment and enough firepower to turn the moon into Swiss cheese. And South Korea, bless their hearts, they're talking about sending weapons to Ukraine. It's like they're saying, hey, if North Korea can play with the big boys, so can we. It's sibling rivalry on a global scale, folks. Now, I ain't saying I got all the answers. Heck, I can barely figure out how to program my DVR. But it seems to me, if we're going to have a problem this big, we ought to at least be able to laugh about it. Speaking of laughing, we've got a real treat for you folks tonight. Coming up next is a man who knows how to find humor in just about anything, even international crises. Please give a warm welcome to the one, the only Benji.
Thanks for that intro, Jimmy. You know, I always feel like I'm entering a bear's den when I come on stage here. Speaking of bears, have you heard about this hunter in Alaska? Talk about a bad day at the office. So, this guy Tad Fujioka, 50 years old, goes out deer hunting in Sitka, Alaska. Now, I don't know about you, but when I hear Sitka, I think it's some kind of venereal disease you catch from a moose. Anyway, poor Ted ends up getting mauled by a bear. They found his remains after he was reported overdue. Overdue? What is this, a library book? But here's the kicker. He actually managed to kill a deer before the bear got him. Talk about going out with a bang. I mean, that's like having the best orgasm of your life right before your wife walks in on you with her sister. You know, it's all downhill from there. Now, I'm not saying hunting is easy, but come on, Tad. You had one job, shoot the thing with antlers, not the one that can tear you a new asshole. It's like he went to the woods with the Eat Me sign taped to his back. Maybe he thought he was auditioning for the next Revenant movie. Sorry, buddy, but Leonardo DiCaprio already took that role, and he at least had the decency to survive. But let's be real here, folks. This isn't just about Tad's unfortunate encounter with nature's version of a dominatrix. This is about the dangers lurking in those remote Alaskan areas. I mean, they say the area is remote and difficult to access. Yeah, no shit. It's Alaska. The whole state is like one big do not enter sign. You know what else is difficult to access? My ex-wife's heart. But at least she doesn't weigh 1,500 pounds and try to eat me anymore. But seriously, folks, these Alaskan wilderness areas are no joke. They've got more bears than a San Francisco gay bar during Pride Week. And let me tell you, those bears are just as hungry, but for very different reasons. You've got to wonder about the mindset of these hunters, though.
They're like, you know what sounds fun?
Let's go to a place where everything wants to kill us, and then let's kill something else. It's like playing Russian roulette, but instead of a bullet, it's a furry freight train with claws.
And don't even get me started on the locals.
They probably look at guys like Tad and think, oh great, another tourist who thinks he's Bear Grylls. Newsflash, buddy. Bear Grylls survives by drinking his own piss, not by becoming bear piss. But hey, I guess that's the appeal of Alaska, right?
It's the last frontier where men can be men and bears can be,
well, fucking terrifying.
it's like Mother Nature's way of saying, oh, you think you're tough.
You know, they say there are about 30,000 brown bears in Alaska.
That's more bears than there are people with all their teeth in the entire state. And these aren't your average picnic basket stealing Yogi Bears. It's like staring down a furry bulldozer with anger management issues.
But let's be honest, folks. In a way, isn't this what we all secretly want? To go out in a blaze of glory doing what we love? I mean, sure, most of us would prefer that to happen during sex, not while being turned into an all-you-can-eat buffet for Winnie the Pooh's evil cousin. But hey, to each their own. He went out there into the wild, facing nature in all its raw, unforgiving glory. It's more than most of us do. The closest I get to facing nature is when I forget to trim my nose hair. So live life to the fullest, chase your dreams, and for God's sake, if you go hunting in Alaska, maybe bring a tank. You know who probably doesn't have to worry about bear attacks? Our next comedian, Dixie Mae. She's so sweet, even the bears would probably just invite her over for tea. Let's give her a warm welcome, folks.
Well, thank you kindly, Benji.
I haven't felt this welcome since I accidentally stumbled into a Planned Parenthood thinking it was a Chick-fil-A. Talk about a different kind of chicken. Now, y'all, let's chat about this whole abortion and economy hullabaloo. Apparently, some fancy pants economists are saying that abortion rights and our wallets are more tangled up than my cousin Cletus's family tree.
They're claiming that letting women choose when to have babies has been great for their careers and bank accounts.
Well, shoot, I could have told you that. My Aunt Mabel's been aborting her diet plans for years, and she's never been more successful at the all-you-can-eat buffet. But seriously, folks, this Janet Yellen lady, first female Treasury Secretary, bless her heart, she's out there testifying that abortion access helped women finish school and get ahead at work. Now, I don't know about y'all, but where I come from, we finish school by actually going to class, not by visiting the clinic.
But what do I know? I'm just a simple gal who thought Roe v.
Wade was a decision about the best way to cross a river.
You know who else is weighing in on this?
That Nobel Prize winner, Claudia Golden. She's saying the birth control pill in the 70s was like some kind of magic bean for women's careers.
Suddenly, we could delay having kids and plan for the future.
Well, honey, in my family, the only planning we do is figuring out how to sneak more moonshine past the sheriff. But let me tell you, this whole revolution in women's personal economics thing, it's more complicated than trying to understand why anyone would vote for AOC. Apparently, it allowed women to be more serious in college. Now, I don't know about you, but the only thing I was serious about in college was finding out which frat had the cheapest keg.
Now, we've got some folks worried that all this freedom is messing with traditional family values. Take this J.D. Vance fella, he's talking about making America pro-family again.
Honey, the only thing pro-family about my household is that we're all pro at getting on each other's last nerve.
Vance wants to boost the child tax credit to $5,000 per kid. Well, shoot, at that rate, my cousin Earlene might finally break even on her 12 young guns.
But here's the kicker. He introduced a bill called the Fairness for Stay-at-Home Parents Act. Now, I'm all for fairness, but the only thing I want to stay home for is a Netflix marathon and a bottle of Jack.
And get this, Vance criticized some law for penalizing mothers who choose to prioritize their child's early development. Honey, in my neck of the woods, we call that being stuck at home with a screaming baby while daddy's out working late at the local watering hole. Vance went on Fox News and said the country's being run by a bunch of childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I'd rather have a miserable cat lady running things than someone who thinks the solution to our problems is more babies and less birth control. At least the cat lady knows how to clean up her own mess.
Now, some of these economists are worried that if we go backwards, it'll hurt everyone. Families, society, the whole shebang. Well, honey, the only thing going backwards in my town is my Uncle Jeb's pickup truck when he's had one too many at the Piggly Wiggly parking lot. But you know what? Maybe these eggheads are onto something. Maybe giving women choices about their bodies and futures isn't such a bad idea after all. I mean, if we can trust women to choose the right shade of lipstick at the dollar store, maybe we can trust them to make decisions about their own dang uteruses. So here's what I'm thinking, folks. Instead of worrying about whether women are having too many abortions or not enough babies, how about we focus on something really important, like why in tarnation they canceled Honey Boo Boo? Now that's a real economic crisis if you ask me. Well, y'all, it's been a hoot and a holler chatting with you tonight. Remember, whether you're pro-choice or pro-life, we can all agree on one thing. We're definitely pro having another drink. So let's raise our glasses to freedom, family, and figuring out how to afford both. Good night, everybody, and may your economic prospects be brighter than my future as a Planned Parenthood spokesperson.